Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart, and this is Hart Homes LLC. Remember, home is where the heart is. Hart Homes is an ethical real estate investment company dedicated to providing sustainable and socially responsible housing. Our mission is to create positive social and environmental impact to urban Rochester through real estate investments. We believe in the power of real estate to transform communities and improve lives. We also believe that communities can and have been destroyed by short-sighted real estate investment and exploitative practices. As such, we aim to acquire, develop, and manage residential property in a way that prioritizes ethical practices, environmental sustainability, and social responsibility. Our focus is on creating affordable, energy efficient, and inclusive housing options that meet the needs of diverse populations. Here's Hart Homes' current inventory of homes. We generate our revenue from rent. We have 5 single families and 1 duplex. And some of you might be counting. There's actually 7 houses pictured here. So how does that add up? One of these is the house I live in. And I'm highlighting that because I live in a house in the city of Rochester. All these properties are in the city of Rochester. We have a big problem with foreign investment, out-of-state investment, and I feel very tied to the community. And that's something I feel passionate about. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but I've actually lived in several of these over the course of my journey anyway. And I would live in any one of them today because they are high quality housing and I'm proud to own them. So what's the problem that Hart Homes is trying to solve? Housing insecurity. We have far too many evictions. We have myriad effect of those evictions and the housing insecurity people face. Think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you don't have housing, if you don't have shelter, you're not going to be able to work on anything else. And I think this quote is one I would like to highlight. Home is where children find safety and security, where we find our identities and where citizenship starts. Think about what's important to you. Education, maybe mental health, maybe physical health. None of those are possible without a safe place to lay your head. And that is tenuous for so many Rochesterians. That's the problem Hart Homes is trying to solve. I am a licensed realtor, and I know the sales and legal side of this business, but this is not where I got my start, and this is not the full extent of my experience. I am beholden to the code of ethics, but I think it's important to know that my background is diverse, it is multifaceted, and it has ties to the construction side and the health and human service side that I think one needs to be successful in this business today. So I developed my sensitivity and experience by living in Rochester, by growing up in Rochester, by living next to this apartment building that changed hands several times and eventually went to receivership because of this mismanagement. It seems to be in a better place now, but each time it went through a cycle of degradation, it had effect on the community. Each time it went through a cycle of renewal, it had effect on the community. So that sensitivity also was formed by working with Hillside Family of Agencies, UR Medicine, YMCA of Greater Rochester, and Health and Human Service roles. That deep connection to the community is what's critical to my success. And the 19th Ward Community Association, Housing Council of Pastoral, and City of Rochester have all partnered with me. So some of Hart Home's strengths. I've talked to you about my market expertise. I've talked to you about the quality of our housing units. I will talk about our strong tenant relationships when I do a testimonial page. But our main differentiator is ethical and sustainable practices. You're seeing landlords subject to more and more regulation. Many of those have not affected me and my business model because I already exceeded regulations. I already went above and beyond for tenants. So here's a couple before and after pictures. We've taken houses all the way down to the studs. This house was in such bad condition it was featured on the front page of the paper. Here's another before and after. This actually had a kiddie pool out there and some Christmas lights all strung out. So it was a very dangerous mix of elements, including the rusty railing. So we were able to make it a lot better for the tenants who live there today. Here's another one, just showing what we do. I'm pretty proud of this project where we were able to remove and replace the ceiling and install recessed lighting and insulation along the way. I had to do it on a very tight timeline, 72 hours or so, because I had to put the tenants up in a hotel to do it safely. I could have gotten away with not doing it at all, but I incurred the extra expense and I didn't displace the tenants any longer than necessary, and I tried to minimize their inconvenience. The City of Rochester commissioned a study to determine who is filing all these evictions, and it turns out that the top 10 landlords make up almost 16% of the eviction filings. Hart Homes LLC is all the way to the left. We file 0 evictions per year, maybe 1, maybe 2 at the most, and that's because we work with our tenants first, last, and always. We use evictions at a very last resort when someone is being extremely unreasonable only. Small landlords are overrepresented in eviction filings. So you might have empathy for mom and pop landlords, but they don't have the economies of scale. They don't have the infrastructure, the knowledge. Many of them are amateurs. So how do you get the best of both worlds? Meaning the mom and pop landlord feel and the personal touch, but also the professionalism that you might find in a larger landlord. My secret, slow growth is good growth. And I use this analogy. This older stud has more strength because it grew slowly over time versus the one from 2018. And that's what you see for my competitors. Over leverage, buying 10 houses a year. It's not sustainable. Slow growth is good growth. I'm going to take my profits in terms of capital gains, not short-term cash flow. And that bears out in our numbers. Here's our revenue and profit. You can see that our profit pales in comparison to our revenue because we are continuing to reinvest in the houses. It's not quite enough for me to sustainably work on this full time, but that's the goal. And that's the next launching pad, and that's why I'm seeking support from the New York State Business Plan competition. What are our customers saying about us? Well, Mercedes rented from me for 8 years at 2 different properties, and then she left and bought her own home. I'm very proud of her. I'm very happy that she was able to end our relationship in that way, and I wish her the best of luck. And Raul, he rented from me, and his last night in town, he had already sent his bed express mail ahead of himself. And I said, don't sleep on the floor. Come to my house, have dinner with me and my wife. And that's the kind of human-to-human contact that's so important to the Hart Homes business model. Here's a reference page just to show that this is a researched and thought out business plan, and we thank you for your time today.